Happy Monday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. Today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio here in Las Vegas, Nevada with our daily live show. Today, talking again about Joseph Robin Bidenet attacking crypto bros, the crypto traders. We have a trader in-house. We're going to ask him his opinion. We also have news on an exchange closing. We're going to show you the reasons why they're closing. We have an update from Bitcoin Miami. We have Forrest and Rob joining us. But before I bring on our co-hosts, I'd like to give a special shout out to channel sponsor today's live show, and every live show this week is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. They provide your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. For more information, visit bluewiretech.com or simply click the link in the description of this video. With that being said, I'd like to introduce you to your first co-host. Who should I bring on first? Forrest. I like the answer. Forrest, how you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me on again. We're keeping the streak alive.
Man.
Ran, I showered, I'm moisturized, I'm ready to go.
Moisturized. Okay, interesting. Coconut oil, lotion, what are we talking here?
Just all of the above.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us again. We also, still in Miami, apparently. Not sure why, because the conference has been over for 3 days. We have Robin joining us. Robin. Hey.
I can't leave, man. I am stuck here. When I say I can't, it's by my own will. I am running out of Ethereum way too fast. Yes.
At least
I do have this coconut though here, so
yeah. At least looks like you're staying
make me feel
hydrated.
better.
That's good.
Pina colada inside of a coconut in Miami. I mean, what else can you ask for, you know?
Wow, there's a lot of things you can ask for, but we're not going to get into that. What we are going to get into, though, well, first of all, how have you been, man? How's Miami been? I've seen the company credit card is almost at its maximum, so just curious. You've been at least enjoying yourself.
Oh man, I'm having a blast. So for one, the conference, the convention itself was an absolute treat. You have all the big names. You have presidential candidates, Michael Saylor. You have senators here as well. And so the guest list is beyond a cookie jar of treats here. I will say also that just being around like-minded individuals that are all interested in Bitcoin and crypto, it's very refreshing. You know, the circles that we hang out with, on the everyday basis around Las Vegas, and I'm sure people can relate where you're trying to talk to people about crypto, and it's like, hey, do you know what Bitcoin is? And it's just refreshing not to be the crazy guy in the room, but now you're just surrounded by a room full of crazy people that are all like-minded in the world of crypto. And then after that, you also have the nightlife that you get when you come to Miami. And all joking aside, it's a great environment to meet people, kind of hang out, discuss blockchain projects, partnerships, and what's the biggest buzz in the crypto space, and more of a relaxing environment with a drink in your hand, and not to mention it's just absolutely gorgeous out here. You can see the weather. It's like 80 to 82 degrees or something. I got the pool out here, and the hospitality has been top notch. George from Cryptos R Us, I hung out with him for a couple of days. The whole Hit Network team as well. Cassius Cuvée, my man. Crypto Lifer, that's my stomping buddy when we go out to events like this. I just want to extend a thank you to any of you that are watching. Definitely made some new friends and grew my relationships closer to people that I had already knew, but just spent a little more time with. I recommend you get a chance to go to one of these conventions. It's a must stop. I mean, I know it's $1,200 a ticket, but I mean, if you're into crypto and you got a decent portfolio, you can manage $1,200. I'd recommend doing it. It's an eye-opening experience.
Well, next year,
yeah.
next year, Bitcoin is going to Nashville. I'm stoked,
Yeah,
man.
so
I've been wanting to go to
this is,
Nashville for a long time.
I've never been to Nashville. So for those of you that they just announced this yesterday, and I was talking to some of the people at the booths, and for whatever reason, they seem to not be too thrilled, like the industry players, the people that had the booths, and I don't know why, but they said that they weren't treated very well. Now,
in Miami,
I was treated like a king out here. Yeah, and so I think the convention may have dropped the ball. Maybe it was just the contract ran out and they decided to go somewhere else. I mean, the attendance was a little down, but I would probably attribute that to the bear market. But it was still, a packed house. So by no means was it like boring or empty. It was just compared to last year, it was a little more tame, which was good because you could have conversations with important people that might have gotten inundated by people wanting to take photos and things like that, like the fans,
Yeah, I'm excited for Nashville. Forrest, I know you were not in Miami this year. Will you be attending Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville with us next year?
Considering it's in Nashville, probably it's Miami's not difficult for me to get to. Like Atlanta to Miami's not a bad flight. They're actually pretty cheap flights, but Nashville's pretty easy to get to driving as well from where I'm at. I've actually never been to Nashville. My wife's been several times. It's actually like the bachelorette party capital of the world, if I'm not mistaken.
We go
the United States. So, yeah,
we go.
Yeah, I'll probably go.
I'm down. We'll be there. You know what? Let's start the show here. So, as Robin's catching a buzz, there's another buzz going around the internet, and that is today is officially Bitcoin Pizza Day. I believe it was 13 years ago today. 10,000 Bitcoin was spent on 2 Papayon's pizzas. Now, according to Mark Moss, the craziest story you don't know is this wasn't the only Bitcoin pizza offer Laszlo made. In fact, he says he spent a total of 100,000 Bitcoin just on pizza in the summer of 2010. 100,000 Bitcoin on pizza in one summer. Wow, that's crazy. Are you guys planning on eating any pizza in honor of Bitcoin Pizza Day? Robin, I also saw you were eating barbecue chicken pizza. All that crap you talk on the show, seems like you actually enjoy it. It's funny.
No, it's more of a gimmick. It absolutely was disgusting.
Yeah, right. I guarantee you finished your slice of pizza.
So, in regards to the Bitcoin pizza, it's just a fresh reminder of where price action is going to move in the future. And the reason I say it's a reminder because, hey, that happened with the pizza. But at Bitcoin Miami, they were auctioning off a car. And so I don't remember how much Bitcoin was purchased, but it was the first car that was ever purchased with Bitcoin. And that car today was like a Prius or something, just like one of those basic California hatchback kind of cars. And that one, I don't know how much Bitcoin it was, but the gentleman told me it'd be worth about $40 million right now. And let that sink in. Now, it is... I think it's smart to take profits, especially if you're making a large purchase. But don't forget that the longer you hold throughout this, in the long-term duration, you're gonna win out. And maybe taking profits in the short term. Hey, you know what? This is extremely overextended. Let me take profits. I'll DCA in a little later. Is obviously the best strategy. I wouldn't say DCA for it no matter what, but for me, it's just a fresh reminder. Car costs $40 million. How much was that pizza?
10,000 Bitcoin, which would be like 270 million.
That's crazy, right? And it's going to happen again. If you were to buy a car right now, again, like today with Bitcoin, you're buying the car for, say, 30, 40,000, and then probably in 5 to 10 years, it'll be at another Bitcoin convention. Like, look at this jackass. He bought this car, and the Bitcoin would be worth, $20 million. instead of, the 30 or 50,000 you paid for.
All right. You gave us a video. We have a video from Miami, and then we'll move on from Miami and get into some crypto news. So, Rocco, pull up my laptop. Here we go. Let's see what Robin was up to. Well, he was gone for a whole week.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rod Drummond, Cassius Couvé. We've been stomping around Bitcoin Miami 2023 for the last weekend. We've put together a little montage. You'll see me hanging out with my boy here, along with other familiar faces. And anything you wanna tease our viewers with?
Man, it's a lot of lit parties, a lot of hot girls, and a lot of fun. A lot of Sin City style stuff popping off in Miami for this year's Bitcoin 2023.
If you missed this one, make sure you come out next year to Bitcoin 2024.
Hola!
So, we know you had fun, but I want to know, were there any big announcements made? What was your one big takeaway? Maybe something positive people could look forward to. We have all this FUD with the debt ceiling and Joe Biden saying, essentially just out here attacking Bitcoin and crypto nonstop. We have the Gary Gensler thing. What are some positives you took out of the convention this year?
I think the biggest shock value I got from the convention itself was how much buzz there was over the Ordinals. I mean, there was a massive NFT Ordinals area. There was people that were launching marketplaces just for Ordinals and trading books. And the Ordinals, interestingly enough, also, or at least that the technology where they're using, they're stamping metadata onto the Satoshis. I realized it wasn't just the NFT style products. And so there were people there was a company there that was launching like basically you can launch your own Ordinals token. So think of a side chain almost, like they're offering like you can create a large pool of tokens and then just have them stored on the Bitcoin network. So very similar to like launching an ERC20. Like remember how Shiba Inu launched and it wasn't really its own chain. It was on Ethereum's network and it was, a token on Ethereum. They're doing the same thing with Bitcoin. And that hasn't really caught on yet. And right now they're doing individual tokens in the form of NFTs, but they're building marketplaces to launch ordinal-based tokens that represent projects like a token. That was pretty interesting. As far as big announcements, you had the Democratic presidential candidate, Mr. Kennedy, out there giving a keynote speech, and he was likening the Bitcoin movement to the democracy that we have in the States. And he was saying that, hey, freedom equates to Bitcoin, or that ideology of Bitcoin removes the government's interest. Because remember, when they founded the Constitution, all of this branches of government, you had the Supreme Court, the executive branch, it was to divide power so nobody got too much power and there wasn't too much control. And so he was echoing that crypto and blockchain essentially removes control from the government to the people, or at least puts their control in check, which is exactly the framework of the Constitution. So he was saying that the freedom, the United States, kind of our ideology of our political system is built off of the premise that Bitcoin is built off of. And so that was kind of interesting to hear that. And not to mention he's a presidential candidate. And by the way, I got his some of his contact info, so you never know. Maybe we'll get him on our show. That's all I got.
Forrest, well, are you so from the articles I read and the pictures and videos I saw, it wasn't just you had a lot of the ordinal stuff. You had a lot of like meme coin, Bitcoin layer 1 meme coin tokens. Do you think this narrative is going to continue to go, or do you think eventually the maxis are going to have their way and kind of this thing will quell down, or you think ordinals are here to stay and it could potentially change, Bitcoin moving forward?
Yeah, so I think that it's going to be an extremely difficult thing for the laser-eyed purist Bitcoin maxis to fight, and that's just because at the end of the day, we briefly touched on this last week, but at the end of the day, who's in control of the Bitcoin network in terms of its security? The miners, right? And BRC20 tokens, Ordinals, and SRC20 tokens, which are the three main implementations of NFTs and fungible tokens on Bitcoin right now, are providing a massive boost in transaction volume and therefore revenue for miners. So if there's a split, if there's a contentious fork between Bitcoin and, on one side, you've got the Bitcoin purists who want to, let's say, undo the Taproot upgrade that makes Ordinals and SRC20 and BRC20 tokens possible. And the other fork is Bitcoin with the Taproot upgrade with SRC20 tokens, BRC20 tokens, and Ordinals. Where are the miners going to point their hash rate? Where are the miners, which chain, which fork are the miners going to support? The miners are going to support the chain that makes them the most money. So I think BRC20 tokens, Ordinals, SRC20 tokens, they're here to stay. And it's going to be incredibly difficult to fight if you're a hardcore Bitcoin purist maxi that only wants, doesn't want any of this stuff on the Bitcoin chain.
I don't disagree with anything you said. At the end of the day, money talks. And that's the whole reason Bitcoin works and it's trustless, is because the miners make money. They have an incentive to keep the network strong and going and decentralized because they make money off of how Bitcoin performs. Now, before I move forward, I'm getting news here. I got news from Robin. Our like ratio is not very good. We're at about 124 viewers and only 51 likes. Guys, help us out, please. For the honor of this sign that our friend Jessica spent money and time on, to send it out here, at least do it for the like sign. Thank you so much. Now,
by the way,
yeah. What?
Real quick, I did meet Jessica out here, and a little sweetheart. So, I see my likes. I was like, well, thank you. So, big shout out to Jessica. Super cool.
Did you blow out her eardrums with all your 5,000 OWASP?
No, but it's funny because she was at a table, kind of, maybe 20 feet away from me. And I dropped an Ola and I saw her get up and turn around like a squirrel.
It's like the mating sign. It's like in the animal kingdom, the mating sign calls, whatever the hell it's called. All right, let's get into some crypto news. So first, every Monday we start here. Economic Outlook. This is from TradingView. So a couple big things happening this month. So in 2 days, we have the FOMC minutes. This is essentially a breakdown of what the FOMC members spoke about, and a lot of people put a lot of weight on this. Investors do, traders do, because the meat and potatoes, what was discussed, and what could we expect moving forward. You also had Neil Kashkari, either it was today or over the weekend, said, hey, if we pause in June, it does not mean we are done hiking rates. But again, Neil Kashkari's record is not very good. And I have video evidence to prove that. Not today, but maybe some other day. Core PCE index, durable goods orders, personal income, and personal spending. All those numbers will be out by the end of the week. So expect a little bit of volatility moving forward for this week. We also have Coin Market Calendar, taking a look at some of the biggest events happening In the top 100 tokens, so we have optimism. A supply increase is happening. We do know there's about $6 to $8 million of OP tokens being unlocked pretty much every single day. And so keep that in mind if you're thinking about investing in Optimism. They're also having their mainnet upgrade. Bedrock, that is coming live on June 6th. So in a couple weeks, there is a Web3 conference on June 9th in Lisbon, Portugal. There's a stomping grounds of yours truly, Robin. And then we have a Cosmos upgrade, the Row upgrade. That is happening Q2, which we know Q2 runs through June. So we'll see when that comes out. No specific date release yet. And so that's what we have there. As far as the markets go, starting with crypto, we're sitting at a market cap of $1.12 trillion. Look at that 24-hour volume. $25 billion. Forrest, you're an active trader. Is this as low as it can go, or what are your thoughts here? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it this low, but then again, I'm not as active in the trading as you are. How low is this, and can I put that in perspective?
Yeah, so it's certainly not the lowest. Actually, I'm trying to the total crypto market cap. I want to actually get a chart here, but I don't have a total volume chart through CoinGecko, believe it or not. But it is low, and it's because a lot of market makers. I'll see if I can find a chart. Maybe you can find one on CoinMarketCap for that 24-hour volume. It is low because a lot of market makers have pulled out. Jane Street and I believe Jump was the other one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Here's the concern. Low volume creates a scenario where we can get high volatility, and you don't have a lot of bid or sell volume to break through for price to start pushing hard in one direction or another. So it moves a lot faster with a lot more volatility. What worries me is how hard of reactions we've seen out of Bitcoin's price, just from the false alarms that we've gotten that Mt. Gox Bitcoin or government Bitcoin was being moved. Just moved, not even necessarily sold. So when the government actually starts selling some Bitcoin and the Mt. Gox distributions actually start happening, normally I'm not necessarily horribly concerned, but in a lower liquidity environment, in a lower volume environment, that actually has potential to do some damage to price action. Now, I say worried, these are going to be really good buying opportunities. You have the perfect storm, the perfect setup. You have the Bitcoin halving coming in March of 2024. We're under a year, and sometime between now and then, we're going to see forced selling or not necessarily forced selling. You're going to see a lot of sell-side pressure from the United States government, from Mt. Gox, from various other sources that could potentially give you a flash crash down to 20,000, sub 20,000. And if you're ready and you have capital on the side to buy that, and it'll probably be worse for altcoins, right? Then you're setting yourself up to buy, what is potentially a last final dip going into the 2024 Bitcoin halving. So this lower volume environment, it's very concerning in terms of price, but it is potentially going to create a really good opportunity for people who are going to be here or plan to be here in 2024 and 2025.
Now, Rob, you've been beating the drum on, we're going to, range and then explode over 30K because of you're looking at the last 2 months. Are you still in that camp?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Okay. How's the coconut? It's good?
It's great.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying volume's pretty low. You have these market makers kind of not completely exiting, but at least winding down. Do you still believe that Bitcoin is going to see a big move over 30K?
I think what we're seeing is natural consolidation before a big rally. And just don't think that the retail buzz is ready just yet. We're seeing that people are getting bored and they're investing in speculative projects. They're also investing in the meme coins. So the money's there. People are trying to generate a profit. just think that people are waiting because of this regulatory uncertainty, just the landscape in general, where it wasn't too long ago we had different companies blowing up, you got banks blowing up. So I think that people are just hesitant, but they're ready. And so I think it's going to take a catalyst to take us to that next leg. And so maybe one big article, partnership. But I do think that within a short period of time, within a week or two, I mean, I was thinking it was going to pop off last week, but I do think that we're going to get to the next leg up and get out of this channel that we've been trading at with between 26 and 30,000. I think we'll cross the 30K mark here pretty soon.
Speaking of 26K, that's where Bitcoin is currently at. $26,864, flat on the hour, flat on the 24-hour, down slightly over the last 7 days. I want to stop there. I want to talk about, there's this article that I pulled up. Let me find where it went. Here we go. So this is former Paxful founder, Ethereum is a drain and drag on Bitcoin. Ray Youssef, the former founder of Paxful, thinks Ethereum, the world's largest smart contracting platform, is a, quote, drain and drag on the number one asset, which is Bitcoin. Breaking down his view, he suggests that Ethereum's impact has been largely negative, delaying advancements in crypto. And you can go see that tweet for yourself. So, Forrest, what are your thoughts on this article here? It is a drag on Bitcoin. It says we should be grateful that it slowed things down as we needed time to figure things out and get the pieces in play. ETH or CivKit will be what ETH should have been, and I'm Vitalik on roids. I think a lot of this is, people see other projects coming out there, money flowing into those ecosystems and saying, well, that money should have gone to Bitcoin. Share your thoughts, and then if you don't mind, let's take a look at a Bitcoin chart as well.
Yeah. So in my opinion, this is just an absolute clown take. The idea, like, it's a free market. So money can flow wherever the market demands it to flow, right? So if people want to invest in Ethereum, they want to invest in meme coins, they can do so. If people are investing in Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, it's because the market believes that, and most people invest in both, right? A large majority of people invest in both. But the idea that we shouldn't have Ethereum and we shouldn't have free competition in the crypto space, and the ability for people to go and try to innovate and build cool things is just, to me, really, really clownish and against the Bitcoin ethos to begin with. This idea, why if Bitcoin is so great, and I'm not hating on Bitcoin here at all, but if Bitcoin is so great, why is Ethereum a threat or a drag on Bitcoin? It's because it's a chain that's making different trade-offs, and it's attracting a different segment of the market. Meme coins are a drag on Ethereum. Meme coins are a drag on Bitcoin. Yeah, and maybe meme coins do introduce more people to the space, and they help onboard people into the crypto ecosystem. But I am all for a free market, and at the end of the day, the free market will prevail, and money will flow into the highest quality assets. If Bitcoin is the highest quality asset, given a long enough time horizon, money will flow into Bitcoin. If Ethereum is the highest quality asset, which, some people believe, some people don't believe, the market is maybe split on that. But if Ethereum is the highest quality asset and the market believes that, that's where money will flow. So I'm a big believer in free markets, and maybe Ethereum, I would say, yeah, Ethereum has been a drag on Bitcoin. Much in the same way, a lot of altcoins in Solana and Cardano has been a drag on Ethereum. Yeah, we're seeing money be spread out, and we're not seeing a super consolidated market. We've seen the market fracture, but this is a normal thing that we see in new and emerging markets. You see like social media, like when you see like the market fracture, right? You have all of these different competitors, and then the best end up emerging, and you get like, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter emerging, right? But early on, you had a lot of competitors. This is the same for any product. So I think this is just like a super Bitcoin maxi take, and he's the CEO or owner of Paxful, which is predominantly a Bitcoin marketplace. If I'm not mistaken, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we happy to take a peek at the chart if we'd like to take a peek at the Bitcoin chart. Looking at Bitcoin here, I actually did pull up volume, and this is the only thing that's a little bit concerning versus last market cycle. And let me get rid of that RSI. So this is volume broken up by exchange here. So last market cycle in the bear market rally, we actually saw increasing volume all the way up to the top here, and then once volume started dying off, that's when our rally started bleeding. Whereas right now we're in a very low volume environment, and this decrease in volume is the sign of an exhausting trend. And I'm actually, despite this, more in Robin's camp of we get another rally upwards, just because there's a lot of variables going on, and volume can work in both directions. Low liquidity can work in both directions. You can, in a low liquidity environment, any spike in volume and any spike in buy pressure and demand can actually create a lot of volatility to the upside as well as the downside. You do have, now compared to what we talked about last week, you look at the market is actually pricing in, or starting to, more so than last week, potentially pricing in another rate hike, which I think is a terrible idea because of Truflation showing us, closer and closer to 3% inflation. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart here. But yeah, I think we're just approaching some key support levels. Not a ton has changed since last week. We're just tightening in this this consolidation here. 25.2K, that's our support that we want to be paying attention to. We're currently sitting on some support right now. But if we test this level, and we've got plenty of levels at 26K as well, but if we can fire out of this zone, right, and then start, let me show you guys the kind of the downtrend line here. If we can fire out of this zone and reclaim 28 to 29K, that could very well take us through that 31K resistance that we got held up at last time, and potentially push us to 36K. If we do break out again and get another leg, my personal target is 36K. I think it's going to be, we've got a lot of resistance lining up at 36K. And I do think it's going to be quite difficult for us to get through that level. Of course, in a blow off top scenario, maybe we pop up to 40, but 36K is where I want to start entering some shorts, taking some profits on my longs, and get out. But that is the setup you want to be paying attention to, these two lines, right? This downtrend line, and then this horizontal at 25.2. You look for a breakout on the back of that downtrend line, and we very likely have a chance to go tag 36.
Awesome. It'll be interesting to see with all this recession talk, and if we do get a rate pause, how the markets will react. I've listened to a lot of macroeconomists. They're saying that a quick, decrease in interest rate could be just as harmful as the fast increases were to the risk on markets, which includes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Taking a look at some of the other cryptos, ETH, I swear to God, ETH was the same exact price, and I checked on Friday, $1,818, BNB 310, XRP 45.7 cents, up still 7.25% over the last 7 days. Cardano 36 cents, Doge, Polygon, and Solana rounding out the top 10. I personally have been continuing to add to my Solana bag. I'm DCing in. A lot of positive things coming out of the Solana camp. I spoke negatively of Solana when the whole FTX thing went down. I've been been kind of hard on them as far as their network going down. Network's been stable. They're continuing to push the space forward. I'm becoming more bullish on Solana. And so I feel like it's important for us in the space to be critical of projects when they're doing wrong, but also to be able to change our opinion and move forward if they get their issues fixed. Because at the end of the day, if Solana succeeds and pushes the space forward into mainstream, if you really love crypto and are in it for the ethos, I know we all want to make money, myself included, but we also understand that crypto is here to change the way the financial institution is ran. And if you're part of that camp and you want to see that change, you want to root for projects, like the founder, hate the founder, like the tokenomics, hate the tokenomics. If they have a part in pushing the space forward and bringing it to mainstream, I think it's important to cheer them on and support them. Crypto Bublés, on the day, we have a few in the green. Tron, Neo, Conflux, Kava, they're all up over 5%. Biggest loser still is Hex, down 18.6%. Take a look over the last week. Render up 34.5%. Synthetics, Tron, Conflux, all up over 10%. The two biggest losers, again, we have Hex, almost 20%. Sui is down 15%. And Pepe, down 10.2%. Now, Forrest, I want to pivot to traditional markets, and I want to share this tweet here. Where did the picture go? Nope. Here we go. So this was tweeted out from the Kobesi letter. This morning, an AI-generated image of an explosion at the U.S. Pentagon surfaced. With multiple news sources reporting it as real, the S&P fell 30 points in just minutes. This resulted in a $500 billion market cap swing on a fake image. It then rebounded once the image was confirmed fake. AI is becoming generous. Forrest, can you speak on the dangers of this? I mean, $500 billion was wiped out in a matter of minutes. That is a crapload of money. Can you speak on this and how to maybe, as a trader, capitalize on these things, or how to make sure that the information you're taking in is true? And then, if we can, please take a look at either the S&P, NASDAQ, or the Dow. Just see where the macro is at.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pop open the charts and we can kind of speak to that. The good news is, I just Googled it. I did not have this knowledge off the top of my head. The S&P 500 is a $35 trillion asset, if you will, market cap asset. So that 500 billion, or we're on the daily chart here, that 500 billion, fortunately, is just a midday blip in the grand scheme of things. It's actually, we've had much more volatile days in the past, but if we actually zoom in here to maybe the 15-minute chart on the S&P 500, it's honestly, it's difficult to tell exactly where it was. I'm assuming it would be here. This morning. So we had, 45 minutes of down for the S&P 500, a little over 0.5% or so. And we've since leveled out and started climbing back up. Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, AI, is definitely going to, be a problem for a lot of news outlets and media outlets. It's going to be incredibly difficult to verify what is and is not the truth. I saw some AI generated images of Donald Trump kissing a bunch of like random male like political leaders across the globe. And they look just so realistic. It's scary how realistic these AI images are. So if your face is out there, it's just scary that anybody could doctor up an AI generated image and have post it of you doing something or anything, and actually, verifying whether that's true or not is going to be quite difficult for a lot of people. So the better and better AI gets. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to see how AI is potentially weaponized to manipulate markets. Right, because that happened for the S&P 500, but you go back to something like the tweet from I forget the company, but it's the company that creates insulin. When Elon took over and they got rid of the blue check marks, somebody created a lookalike account of the company that makes insulin and said, "Hey, we're increasing our insulin prices back up to $600 or whatever." Something I forget what exactly it was, and the the stock price absolutely tanked, and then it recovered quickly once it was identified that that was a fake account. So, people are potentially going to be looking for opportunities to manipulate markets, to create an AI image of something bad, a company doing something bad, and take out shorts on that company and have it go viral, and then clean up and rebuy at the bottom. So it will definitely be interesting. As far as the S&P 500 here, look, we are starting to press through resistance. We're starting to press through this key red resistance level that I've marked out. These are both structural in nature. I don't have the margin pressure levels pulled up, but these are key margin pressure levels. We held as resistance here twice, consolidated underneath it, pushed through, potentially looking to make support on top of it, but we're holding above. This structure, in my opinion, is bullish for the S&P 500. It just is bullish. Now, a couple of things that we need to take into account. Two kind of big variables here would be, one, the next potential rate hike decision, the Fed minutes. And we just want to pay attention to whether or not this level is reclaimed by the bears. Right, we push back down below this level, hold it as resistance, then we're potentially re-entering this range, which could push us all the way back down to the bottom. Right, last time we failed to break above this level. Right, we saw a rejection and a pullback all the way back down to the bottom of this range. This time we've actually broken through, so that's quite bullish. So it'll be interesting to see. The other chart that I like to reference with S&P 500 is just the highs minus the lows. So this is your zero level, right? This flat line is the zero level. And this is just the number of stocks making new highs versus the number of stocks in the New York Stock Exchange making new lows. And that can kind of give you, so obviously your S&P 500 is more like your weighted average, so to speak. It's not, going to be perfectly a weighted average, but essentially. So if you have like one or two stocks in the S&P 500 that are really, really performing well, say, Apple and Palantir and some of these stocks that are performing really, really well, that could push up the S&P 500. But if you want to actually look more at like a median type data that takes into account the number of stocks, how many stocks are making new highs versus new lows, this is actually positive. And historically, our bottoms come in where you actually cross over and from a period of being negative consistently to a period of holding above positive consistently. And that is usually in line with where the bottom is at. We've seen this kind of come in multiple times where you cross that threshold, and that's the bottom. So look, we may have already had our bottom for the S&P 500. I do think that there's a chance at a soft landing. Even so, I do think that Q3 comes around. Q3 is historically a terrible quarter for the S&P 500. You want to be very aware of potentially retesting these prior lows, right? So right now we're in a bear market rally. Enjoy it, but be hedged and be diversified.
That's an interesting chart. I don't think I've ever seen anyone show that. That's pretty awesome. Thanks for that. Robin's been pretty quiet. So, Robin, I want to give the floor to you.
I'm actually, I just extended my stay another 3 days. So, I need you to hold it down for the rest of the week.
You look like a shit show. Your glasses are all like all crooked and you just look like...
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Robin, why don't you throw some OLAs out there, my friend?
All right, so we do have a few new people here. I don't have them written down, but I see Joey Farino. Also, Aiden here. Who else? If you're new, say hello so we can drop an OLA back at you. We got Reed as well. I Lapeta. He's been here before. And then Pump here. Robert Triana. Anyways, guys, say what's up. Let me know where you guys are coming in from, because I'm in Miami, and we haven't done a check-in on where home base is for people in a while. So let me know where you guys are watching us from, and then I'll make sure I get some OLAs to you. We got Peter Prevost in here. I haven't seen him in a while. And to all of you that are new, welcome, Sin City Crypto.
Man
Mark
literally blew out his mic.
No,
you blew out your mic with OLA to cut off. One last thing I want to show.
Okay.
One last thing I want to show on the macro before we move on to the biggest crypto news is we're on Treasury watch, right? T-minus 9 days before apparently the government has to shut down if no debt ceiling thing is in place. They can't come to an agreement. So we are down to $57.3 billion in the Treasury, which is, if you look at the previous ones, opening balance this month was $316 billion. So not looking good. There's posturing going on both sides. I highly doubt, I don't think it's practical. I cannot envision a scenario where either Republicans or Democrats let the U.S. default on their debt. That would be extremely catastrophic. You think inflation is bad now? Imagine all that money pouring back into the states. It would not be good. U.S. already got a tick down on the credit rating back in 2011. I believe it was 2011 or 2014. They went from a AAA to a AA. So would not be good. I could see, I definitely see something happening. It's probably going to be at the very last second. But think of it this way. If you're a nation state or if you're an extremely wealthy investor, do you want to have a majority of your savings, of your money in this asset that every few years, it's like you're on the edge of your seat? Are these guys going to be able to put their differences aside? And by these guys, I'm referencing Democrats and Republicans, to raise the debt ceiling. And so my money is safe, because if they default on the debt, that's a signal to every investor, every country in the world that holds U.S. Treasury securities that, hey, maybe this isn't the safest asset in the world anymore. It would be catastrophic, which is why I think we're going to get an agreement to raise the debt ceiling. To infinity and beyond, I hope not, but at least in the short term, a little bit. All right, let's move on. So we have this news: Hotbit to permanently close down all operations starting today. And this is directly from Hotbit's website. It's time to take a bow. For 5 years and 4 months, the Hotbit team has been proud to participate in a wonderful crypto show with 5 million users. However, it is with great regret that we have made the decision to stop all SEX operations from May 22nd at 4 a.m. UTC. We kindly ask all users to withdraw their remaining assets before June 24th, same time. So they said the decision is based on 3 reasons. First, the deterioration of the operating conditions. Talks about the collapse of FTX, bank crises. Secondly, the change in the crypto industry trend. The Hotbit team believes that centralized exchanges are becoming increasingly cumbersome, with highly complex and interconnected businesses that are difficult to comply with, whether for compliance or decentralization, and are unlikely to meet long-term trends. It also says Hotbit has suffered from numerous problems, such as repeated cyber attacks and the exploitation of project defects by malicious users, resulting in significant losses. Now, I know Hotbit's not the biggest exchange, but 5 million users is it's not chump change. It's not tiny. So Robin, share your thoughts. Do you think we're going to see more of this happening? And does this kind of say that, because they cited the whole FTX thing, does that mean that the FTX dominoes have not all fallen yet?
Well, remember, this is going to be a long bear market, so it's going to be until at least mid-2024. So I would say another full year before we're in the swing of things. And even then, nothing's guaranteed. We're all under the assumption that mid-2024 to late 2024, we're going to get the rally in the bull market, and that simply coincides with the halving. But nothing is promised to us, and, especially in large markets, you typically tend to break the trend. And I just don't see a scenario where we don't see more of this, because you go to the convention here and you realize that marketing budget is drying up. People are not spending as much. The parties aren't quite as lavish. An amazing time here. It was over the top. Comparison to last year where there was a lot more money, it was just a larger ecosystem. And so if you're not operating with a reserve of cash, I just don't see how you're going to make it all the way till late 2024 and tread water if you're operating in the negative. Also, Hotbit, well, they were kind of known for offering tokens that a little bit more speculative. They were a go-to exchange for.
They were actually not to cut you off. Well, actually, I'm cutting you off, but just to give some context, I believe they were the first centralized exchange to list SHIB. They're one of the ones where they put more risky plays out there. They're typically the first exchange, centralized exchange, that lists these extremely speculative meme coins. And so, what can that do for the market? Who knows? But continue.
Well, that space is drying up. Even though we're seeing a rally in meme coins, it pales in comparison to where we were at the height of the bull market, and that's essentially probably where they got most of their revenue. And so, if they didn't hodl or reinvest or set money aside in their treasury asset from all the trading fees associated with the 2021 rise, and they mismanaged. Maybe they had exposure to some of the projects that went under. I mean, I don't know for sure, but if any of that's the case, then it's obvious and apparent what happened. People are buying and selling Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a handful of other projects. And with the meme coins, I mean, we see it. It's purchased or scooped up. This market is driven by DeFi. People are not going to offshore exchanges and buying their meme coins. What they're doing is they're buying Ethereum and then they're moving that onto their MetaMask and they're participating in swaps. That's how majority of the meme coins are purchased. And for that reason, they're circumventing the exchanges that were in 2021 getting a lot of traction because people weren't really familiar with DeFi. And so if majority of the markets that are on a centralized exchange are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're probably not going to go to Hotbit to buy it, right? It would only make sense that you're going to take the least amount of risk when it comes to exchanges. I'm not going to use any sketchy exchanges. I'm going to stick to Coinbase and Binance.
Well, 5 million people used them, Robin.
Of others.
5 million
used. They used. That's the big word. And
but they're not using them anymore because they're shutting down. I'm just saying, 5 million users.
Yeah, but I'm sure that 5 million users, they were probably 5 million, or it was probably close to 80% active users at one point during the height of the market. I'm sure it's probably down to 10% of the active users that they had during the bull run. And so all I'm saying is that if you didn't manage your capital well during the good times and you're hemorrhaging during the bad times, it's a long way away. Because if we were early 2024, I mean, maybe you could raise capital and be like, hey man, I just got to get by. I just got to get my fix until the next bull market. And hey, it's halvings coming up, but it's so far away. Ain't nobody gonna throw and exchange money right now, especially not in the environment that we had, where banks and exchanges are going under left and right.
Yeah, Forrest, do you agree with what Robin's saying? And do you also, what's your thoughts on, my question I asked Robin? I want to ask you the same one. Are we going to see more exchanges kind of go down this road where it's just not beneficial for them anymore? And does this mean that the FTX dominoes have not all fallen yet? I know it's months ago, but that was the second largest exchange out there. So what are your thoughts just overall in general?
Yeah, so it kind of goes into what we were talking about with Coinbase not listing Pepe. Like, why would they buy a bunch of Pepe that is probably going to be 80% down in a couple of months, and that trade volume's probably going to dry up on? They're taking a huge risk by listing Pepe, or if they were to choose to do that. They're assuming that this token is going to still appreciate in value, and they're going to be able to make enough money off of trade volume and trade fees that's going to offset a large portion of the cost of actually acquiring that token. And it's not necessarily always the exchange that is fronting that capital. They work with market makers to do so, but market makers it's the same economics for market makers, the same incentives for market makers. Coinbase has to find market makers that are willing to take that risk. right? So why would a market maker for Coinbase want to go and buy a bunch of Pepe at a $500 million market cap and take the risk that is probably going to move down 80% and be underwater on Pepe and not be able to make it back with trade fees? That is what has happened times 100, times 200, times however many garbage coins these exchanges listed. You look at a lot of these coins that are on Hotbit, and they're down 99% because nobody's trading them anymore. So not only did the market makers and or the exchange take a complete bath on listing a lot of these tokens, they're just not making any money off of them anymore because no one's trading these coins that are down 99%. Now, in the bull market, the unit economics looked really, really attractive. And it's the same way, like you see the same thing with Bitcoin mining, Ethereum mining, insert whatever mining, people were mining helium token, whatever it is. In a bull market, when there's a ton of volume and prices are going up, the unit economics of starting a mining company, they look really good. They're like, oh, look, I could start a mining company and I could, pay off my rigs in, the next 200 days. But then when prices start coming back down and you're in a bear market, like you're like starting a mining company when miners are losing money like they were, when Bitcoin was under 20,000, it doesn't work anymore. The unit economics don't work to like actually start a mining company. It's the same thing right now for market makers. The volumes are not high enough for them to say like, hey, I want to list these tokens and it's just no longer profitable. So we're seeing it with Hotbit right now. I'm surprised Gate.io, that's another one that lists a ton of sketchy coins. I'm surprised they're not underwater. You don't know how much cash they're sitting on in the background, but maybe we see a couple more exchanges do the same thing.
Forrest, what about is it worth it for an exchange to, if they're struggling, to just list these tokens to make money off the trading fees, or would it be better? Or they just go under?
Well, the problem is if they list the token, they either have to buy tokens to provide liquidity or find a market maker who's willing to, right? So when they buy that, they want that token. Like the most ideal scenario, one of the most ideal scenario for a market maker and exchange is super high volume with very stable prices or increasing prices. They still want the underlying asset that they've purchased and they're providing liquidity for to actually rise in price or at least be very stable so that they can just clean up with high volume and transaction fees. Right now, there's just no volume on these low market cap tokens. And they've taken a bath on whatever they purchased. So if the exchange purchased the token or the market maker purchased the token at a given price and the tokens are down 80-90% from their purchase price, they're underwater depending on how much they were able to make on transaction fees. So it's just they're probably just down bad on a lot of these illiquid low cap speculative tokens.
Forrest, do you and I don't know because I don't have a clear-cut answer to this question, and maybe Rob does, but to what extent do these projects who want listings just send them tokens for liquidity versus the exchange has to go out and buy the tokens for liquidity? Do either of you have an answer to that question?
Yeah, it's somewhat commonplace, especially in
what are you doing, dude?
Nice. Yeah, so sometimes there's large fees, and I think a lot of this stuff happens behind the scenes and is not necessarily publicized. But if you want to get on Coinbase, if you want to get on Binance, you're in your project. There's listing fees. Even if you want to get on CoinMarketCap, I've heard that it's $50,000 to $100,000, or was in a bull market. I don't know if it is, just to get a listing on CoinMarketCap, just to get a prompt listing, and that's not even an exchange. That's just a data provider. But yeah, if you're Binance or Coinbase, you can demand that you receive a lot of tokens for free, and you can charge extraordinarily high listing fees and offset a lot of your risk. That's the luxury of being Coinbase or Binance and having a ton of users. These smaller exchanges do not have that luxury.
Okay, Robin, let's check in with our friend there. Looks like you're enjoying the pool. Okay. We can't hear you, man. I don't know.
No audio.
All right,
Get the
no
music,
audio.
but no audio.
We'll check in with Robin a little later. You enjoy yourself out there.
We can hear the
Please.
music. The music was nice.
Please, for the love of God, just don't max out the company credit card. Now, I want to move forward to the theme of today's, or the thumbnail of today's show, which was Joseph Robinette Biden. And if Robin had audio, I would ask him, Robin, what are your thoughts on sharing a part of your name with this president who's so anti-crypto? But unfortunately, I can't get his opinion because his mic is not working. Now, here we had Joe Biden who was at a G7 meeting in Japan. Okay. It's just funny. It's kind of like these politicians are grasping at straws. The economy's going down. Crypto. Banks are going under. Crypto. Debt ceiling has to be raised, but not if it benefits crypto. Bro, what? Here's what he had to say. So this is Joe Biden on the debt ceiling in the morning. This is what he said. Let's pull up the laptop there.
I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk for nearly 1 million Americans. And it's time for Republicans to accept that there is no bipartisan deal to be made solely on their partisan terms.
Is he setting up this stalemate to blame crypto? Like, what is the point? I don't understand. You're talking about wash trading for crypto traders when the same thing happens in the traditional stock market, and you want to tie that in to why you guys haven't agreed on a debt ceiling, because we're not going to benefit the crypto traders. To give a little more context here, just from Cointelegraph, Biden won't accept debt deal protecting crypto traders. United States President Joseph Robinette Biden expressed opposition to a debt ceiling agreement with Republican leaders that would allegedly benefit crypto traders. He said, I'm not going to agree to a deal that well, this is what we already showed in the video. I'm not going to read it. The alleged protections for crypto traders refers to tax loss harvesting. Crypto tax loss harvesting is a strategy that investors use to reduce their overall tax liabilities. It involves selling a cryptocurrency at a loss to offset capital gains from crypto profit. To claim a loss, the assets must be sold, and the proceeds must be used to purchase a similar asset within 30 days or 30 days before or after the sale. The mechanism is also available for stocks and other assets. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, Republican, claims that the U.S. debt rise is a spending problem, not a revenue problem. Now, whether you agree with wash trading or not, just know it's happening in the traditional markets. It's been happening for decades. Why is crypto continuously put in the spotlight in a negative way from our president? What are your thoughts here, Mr. Forrest?
Yeah. So first of all, I am not of the belief that, and this maybe people can say is a controversial take. And, look, at the end of the day, if you want to know where I stand politically and where I lean, is I have a disdain and a distaste for the vast majority of politicians on both sides. So, if I say something critical of one politician who happens to be on one side, just note that I probably have equal disdain for a lot of politicians on the other side as well. I'm not of the opinion that Biden is the person that is coming up with a lot of the stances and positions on much of anything, to be quite honest, let alone crypto. I don't think he understands crypto. I don't think he could articulate what a blockchain is, what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is if asked. Let alone a lot of other just, basic concepts about
anything. You can't even articulate what it says on his teleprompter, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He's reading a teleprompter. I think this is providing more credence to the idea that the current administration and just the Democrat Party in general, and I'm not saying people on the ground level that are voting Democrat. I'm saying the administration that is currently in power, that happens to be, a Democrat, is very anti-crypto, and they have an anti-crypto agenda, and it makes sense that Gensler is very anti-crypto. It's, you look at FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and all of the ties that he had to the Democrat Party, and it's like, it paints a picture that the current administration, it is very, very anti-crypto. You look at Elizabeth Warren, it's just like, it's a very anti-crypto administration. In my personal belief, and obviously, take it with a grain of salt, it's speculation, but my belief is that the powers that be, the current administration and people that have money and have some level of control over and influence over the United States and the world and the government, they don't want that. They view crypto as a threat. They've come out. The World Economic Forum has come out and said they view crypto as a threat to the U.S. dollar, and it is. It's designed that way. But the problem with the U.S. dollar is they can just print as many as they want and continue to devalue the dollar that the hardworking American works for. So I believe that they just want to slow down crypto at all costs and insert a CBDC. And this is it's just so nonsensical. Like, you can do this wash trading with stocks. You can do it with any asset. It's just another way to pinpoint and put pressure on crypto in the crypto industry. And it's super sad. It's super sad to sit and watch because it's pretty disgusting.
Rob, do you share the same sentiment Forrest does? And is it more concerning? Well, I'm going to do, okay, first of all, real quick, do you agree with what Forrest says and what I believe, that Biden isn't the one making up these? This is not his stance. These are the people around him telling him what to say, blah, blah, blah. Do you agree with that notion before I ask you the next question?
Yeah, so the Democratic Party is definitely leaning towards anti-crypto. I don't want to say they've gone all in and they're completely objective against it, but you're
to be fair, there are some Democratic politicians who have come out as pro-crypto. So there's pro-crypto on both sides, but there's definitely more anti-crypto on
the camp is growing. The camp is getting larger on the Democratic side, and I feel like the Republicans haven't really taken that stance. And if anything, they've been a little bit more receptive to cryptocurrency. And I am very excited about our Democratic candidate, Mr. Kennedy, which once again spoke at Bitcoin Miami. And, he might be some fresh take. Here, the funny thing is that the Democrats were all in on crypto. I mean, we saw, the executive branch discuss, pass that executive order to get some kind of framework, get an understanding for crypto, and as they said in their report or in their executive order, that they did not want to fall behind technology innovation, and for that reason they wanted to embrace it. And that narrative just completely changed in the bear market. And now you're seeing a president and an executive branch that was bullish, or at least curious, on crypto and had an open mind. So now they've brought out the shovels and they're trying to bury this. And it's what makes no sense is that they're sending billions of dollars every month to Ukraine, which I'm not saying that it isn't needed, but I'm just saying that realistically, the monetary policy that we have, it's got us into the mess that we're in now with inflation, and the amount of dollars that are circulating have threefold increased since 2019, and it's an obvious problem of politics. And then what we're seeing now, I 100% agree, is simply the presidential candidates or presidential cabinet saying, hey, it's crypto's fault. We heard it with some of the testimonies when it came to the banks. They tried to point the finger at crypto. Crypto is not to blame for this. It's the fractionalized reserve system that we have. It's the money spending that we have. And crypto addresses that problem. And I think that certain politicians are looking at it as, oh crap, this is a better option. And people at the banks are, putting their foot down and saying, we don't want money to leave anymore. We need the government to step in and do it. Remember, Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase bailed out First Republic Bank, and that was done more or less as a favor. And if it is a favor called in by the banking system, I'm pretty sure there's also caveats to that. Hey, you know what? We'll secure the assets for First Republic Bank, and in doing so, why don't you tighten down the regulation on some of these cryptos, because we're seeing the flight of money from the savings account and the checking accounts and investment accounts over to crypto. And at some point, especially when the markets are in a downturn, you're trying to scrape for every dollar you can. So I know that's a little bit of a conspiracy theory or a little bit of a reach there, but honestly, I don't think that's that crazy of an idea to think that the banks are operating with regulators to protect their interests and where their money is leaving to crypto. And so I think this is a coordinated effort. And I will say this, if Mr. Kennedy wins a Democratic, and I keep saying Mr. Kennedy because I forget which Kennedy. There's like so many damn Kennedys. Which one is it?
Robert Kennedy. He's a nephew.
Robert
he's
Kennedy?
a nephew of JFK.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess it up and drop the wrong one. But yeah, so Robert Kennedy, if he were to win, think about what that'll do to the political landscape when it comes to picking a side on crypto, right? I mean, think about it. First of all, have we ever had a Democratic candidate supplant the standing president? I'm not sure if there has. I know there's been a couple instances where they have had election, primaries going into the election, but I don't know if there's ever been a removal of an active president by someone in the same party. And if that were to happen, and the man's one of his biggest stances is his stance on crypto and Bitcoin, that right there will absolutely change politics and crypto forever. And if you take a hardline stance on crypto, you probably won't take office. That's also why I think Elizabeth Warren is going to be ousted on her.
That would be amazing. Crypto to me right now feels like that one kid in high school who was, kept to himself, but was an easy target for people to point at and laugh at and make fun of. It also reminds me of when I was younger, my dad, me and my younger brother, he would always start fights and make me mad, and I would always get blamed. I'm like, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. It was him. It's like that. Banks are failing. They're taking unnecessary risks. Blah, 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 blah. But they want to point the finger at crypto. But I agree with Robin. I think this next election cycle is going to be the most important for crypto because you have politicians that are pro-crypto and ones that are taking a hardline stance against crypto, like Elizabeth Warren. I think one of the most important things that can happen is for Elizabeth Warren to lose her senatorial race in Massachusetts. Because if she does, and remember, she has won re-election for several years, I believe since 2010 or one of the 2010 years. And if she loses, and we can point to her anti-crypto rhetoric, that'll be a warning shot, a warning sign to the rest of the politicians that are looking to run. If you take an anti-crypto stance, that'll be the end of your political career. So I think it's very important. Also, guys, we're at 223 viewers, only 125 likes. Do us a favor. Help us out. Let's get the stream out to more people on YouTube. Like the video. And have fun in the chat, comment, ask questions. We might even answer some of those questions you would like to ask. Now, this next piece of news, very interesting. Apple pivots toward greater acceptance of Web3 again. This is sourced from B in Crypto. Apple appears to be softening a stance on blockchain-based transactions on its App Store. So STEPN, which was all the buzz just a few short months ago, which is an app that allows you to earn token as you walk, will be the first Web3 app to integrate Apple Pay. Customers will be able to connect their credit card and debit cards to Apple Pay to purchase NFTs needed for the gameplay. Apple Pay as a fiat payment method eliminates the need for users to connect a crypto wallet to purchase in-game assets. This removes a potential barrier for new players joining the ecosystem by eliminating the notoriously complicated process of setting up crypto wallets. Last week, Axie Infinity announced it will be available for download on Apple's App Store. Is it just me, or is this like pretty freaking massive? Pretty massive for the mass adoption of Web3, of NFTs, of NFT gaming. Forrest, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, this is very big, especially if Apple continues this stance. I'm actually a little bit surprised because I would think, and I don't know what their actual cut is of this. I don't know if it's subject to like that 30% tax that they take on a lot of their in-app purchases, or if it's just straight up Apple Pay and they're just taking like a 1% fee or whatever. This is huge because STEPN, for one, it's kind of big for Solana, if I'm being honest. STEPN is Solana native. It is multi-chain now. I do believe they have Binance Smart Chain integrated as well, but the token itself trades on Solana. It's up like 7% today. And yeah, it's surprising because you would think that Apple would want to keep this, this kind of walled garden to themselves and be ready to move in a big way when the time comes. But at the same time, the fact that this is cutting out the onboarding process of like the average user that wants to start using STEPN. They don't have to go buy Solana tokens from an exchange and then send those Solana tokens to the STEPN app wallet and then buy an NFT. They can just straight up download the app and buy the NFT to start walking in game and start participating straight from US dollars from Apple Pay. So this is huge. And yeah, I'd like to see more integrations like this, but this is how you get mass adoption. You take the existing network distribution that Apple and other giants like Google and other large companies have, and you integrate crypto into them rather than building new networks from the ground up. So this is great. This is very good.
Rob, are you bullish on this? For me, the biggest thing was in the article it talks about people not having to download crypto wallets connected to this. You can directly download Axie Infinity via the App Store, which is integrated obviously with Apple Pay. You can have your credit card or debit card linked up. You can make in-app purchases. So NFT, skins, more, whatever, however the Axie Infinity game work. And I'm just using that as an example. I mean, could this lead to the mass adoption we need? And just what are your thoughts in general? Are you bullish?
Apple and the major cell phone carriers do when their competitor has offered a product that they don't have. They hurry up to implement it. I mean, it's not just in the cell phone industry, it's in everything. We saw that Microsoft has integrated the ChatGPT, the AI language model, into their web service or their web browser, and then they're actively incorporating it in all of their products with Microsoft Excel, for example. And what did we see as a response to that? You saw Google, you saw Apple, you saw every single player in the space basically commenting and saying, hey, this is what we're doing in the AI space. We have our own language model coming out. And so they put their foot down immediately. And as dumb as it might sound, you got Solana phone coming out, and I know it hasn't taken off in sales. I know it's not a game changer, but at some way, shape, or form, it has had to have captivated the attention of Apple. I mean, their biggest competitor is Samsung, and Samsung is offering a version of their phone that offers seamless integration to buy and sell NFTs directly onto an iPhone and keep your assets stored in a cold storage wallet that is built into the phone. And this is something that Apple does not have. So for me, I'm thinking perhaps people at the corporate or boardroom level at Apple have had internal conversations and said, hey, this is a disruptive industry that's coming, that is coming forward. And maybe they don't want to incorporate crypto into their Apple Pay just yet, but maybe they're getting their toes wet. Maybe they're putting their legs in the pool, and they're trying to get a little bit of exposure into the Web3 and crypto NFT ecosystem. And what a better way of doing it than partner with Axie Infinity, who is is the most popular cell phone style in a Web3 based game as far as users and total market cap at the height of the market. And yes, that version didn't directly incorporate NFTs, but it's still more of a brand adoption. And now you're getting NFTs directly from Solana, who also kind of coincidental, Solana phone. They're trying to compete against Solana phone, and they're using an NFT based on the Solana chain. I think that there is something larger going on right now, and I think that there has been discussions on the corporate level for integrating Web3. This is stage one, in my opinion. All speculative, but it seems to be trending in that direction with Apple.
I heard a lot of Solana there. Now, if you want more information on Solana and why we're starting to get more bullish, we did do a Solana video. Make sure to go check that out. Robin, people want to know, do you have a lot of chest hair?
Do I got a lot of chest hair?
Yeah.
No, your boy silky smooth.
Silky smooth. Smooth like eggs, he said.
No, if I didn't trim, it would. I'm Portuguese, and let's just say we insulate well. I did see. Speaking of Portuguese, I did see earlier that we had a lot of people shouting out their hometowns. I don't know. I don't have my pen and paper that would normally write down all the new people. But
what's your hometown,
for all of you that, my hometown is Virginia, but my heritage and large portion of my family is from Portugal. I did see that we had Crypto Brat. She's still in Miami, or I think she lives here. I saw some shout outs from Ireland. I saw someone from Memphis as well. So you should definitely check out the next year's convention as well. Yeah, for that, I appreciate the community, and to all the new people here, hola! Welcome to City Crypto.
I also want to give an hola to channel sponsor. Today's live show is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. You want more information on how they can help you and your business, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Guys, that'll do it for today. We are finito. Robin, what are the odds you extend your vacation? Well, not vacation. What are the odds you extend your trip in Miami? Is it good, bad?
I was thinking about a rebranding. Vice City Crypto. What do you guys think about that?
Terrible.
Sin City Vice.
Sin City Vice. That's funny. Oh, man.
No, I'll be back tomorrow. I will catch a 9 p.m. flight. Been bugging David to go pick me up at the airport. But
hell no.
See you guys in the studio tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be there. Cool, man. Well, guys, we're gonna skate out of here with everyone on. But Forrest, before we let you go, my friend, is there anything you would like to leave us with? Maybe where can people find more Forrest information if they're looking for it?
Yeah, so I've got a website, Sistine.ai. And kind of a research-based product and some indicators that are available there. Otherwise, my YouTube channel is Sistine Research, where I'm going to be focused, live streaming probably once a week, but going to be focused more on putting together some videos on some investment opportunities, and how to break down investments and make it more educational, as well as some little snippet videos each night, maybe 5-minute quick videos on technical setups, trade setups that I may be looking at. And you can also follow me at 00Forest on Twitter.
Awesome. Forrest, thank you so much. Oh, again, lift you back. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. It's been a pleasure to host a show with you over the last 10 days or last week or so. We're going to have you back on Friday. You join us every single Friday. That's not going to change. And we look forward to having Robin back in studio. Rob, is there anything you would like to say before I cut your camera feed?
If you have not made it to Miami before, crypto convention aside, absolutely gorgeous here. But I will say that Miami, you guys got me good. I thought Vegas was tough to live in. There's a lot of temptation, but man, Miami, it's you guys got me good this year. So big shout out to everybody out here. If you were at the convention or one of the influencers or any of the projects that we talked to, much love. Sin City is excited to partner and work with all of you. So till next year. Hey.
All right, guys, go check out all of our social medias. Go visit our merch store. Go subscribe to the channel if you're not. Hit the notification bell and come back tomorrow, same time, same place. With that being said, Rocco. Guys, much love. Thank you for tuning in. From myself, Forrest, Robin, and Rocco, we love you guys. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the outro music. Compliments of Cassius Couvet.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. City.